Welcome. In this video, I am going to do a follow-up to something that originally appeared in the Bonsaify Mastering Shohin Juniper e-course. If you want to check that out, you can find it on the e-course section on bonsaify.com. Meanwhile, we are going to take a look at where this tree is at right now, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what happened before and how that's impacted the current state of this growing project. So this tree's in a 3-gallon can right now, and the larger the container, if you're container growing junipers, the faster the growth. And I think I've gotten some pretty good growth in the last couple of years. The only thing that's really been done since the previous session is that I went in at one point and eliminated this branch because it was starting to impinge on the branch below it. And I figured that that would potentially help make the design a little bit more interesting. All right, so in the last session, we narrowed this side of this lifeline and removed the bark from that part of this root. Now, the point of doing that was to basically keep the inside of this turn from filling in. So if I take a little tool and stick it down in the middle of this tree, I can show you that there's like that kind of hole in the middle, and I'm trying to keep that from filling in with wood. So I'm at the point where I'm sort of managing, well, how are the lifelines in the long term going to route so that they don't impinge each other and instead start to make more and more interesting sort of shapes. In removing this branch, I was trying to make sure that this sacrifice branch and that sacrifice branch didn't start to kind of fuse together in this section and make a big blob of wood. But when I look at the bark striations here on this part of the lifeline, which I think is one of the more interesting parts, it's pretty obvious to me that it's curling under this. So this is kind of coming over the top and that's kind of coming over the bottom. And behind there is another strong branch right here, and that might end up being what I use for the entirety of the tree as we move forward. So in this session, I'm going to significantly reduce some of these sacrifice branches. Not all of them, but I want to reduce this portion because it is sort of shading out, or it's also starting to kind of impinge on this. I'm going to leave this sacrifice branch because it's feeding directly into one of the lifelines. Well, this one is coming from the top up here where I don't necessarily want a lot more wood. All right, now looking from what is basically the right side, here's those 3 branches that I cut off. And you can see that if I take this and pull it a little bit, it's actually touching this branch, which is coming off of the lower section of the lifeline, while this one's coming off of sort of this top that I've maintained up to this point. So I don't want to create a lot more wood up in this section, or at least not yet. And so I'm removing this. Now that I've cut off the long parts, I'm actually going to strip the bark back down into here and then also start peeling some of that wood. And that's going to stimulate this to grow, but it's also going to make another deadwood feature of some sort, and I'll determine whether or not I want to keep that at a future date. So you see, as I was doing that there was actually some water squirting out of the wood. This time of year, it's right now the middle of March, basically just before the spring equinox. And this time of year, these junipers are pushing a lot of water through the tissue, and the cambium separates really easily from the wood during that time. And that makes it a lot easier to do this kind of work, but it also makes it a lot easier to inadvertently damage things. So I'm always a little bit cautious about doing work on junipers this time of year, but the bark stripping operations are really easy. All right, and now with most or all of the bark off, including the bark that's sort of on the inside of this turn right here, at least back to where I want to keep this foliage, I'm going to reduce these gin. All right, so I eliminated almost that entire gin, peeling it back and stripping wood fibers. I'm also going to cut back this long shoot right here because I don't want a lot of long, strong growth coming out this far up in the composition. Okay, after having done that, essentially eliminating one big, strong section of the tree, it doesn't look a whole lot different except when you look close up in this section. So the idea here is basically just to avoid conflicts in terms of the lifelines of the tree and continue growing the sacrifice branches from areas where it's going to be the most productive. So I don't really want more wood established higher up in the tree because we want to create more taper and also just leave ourselves space for more canopy within the Shohin size. So there's actually one more strong shoot coming from up here, so I'm also going to cut that one back. You can see I've sort of stripped the growth that was in closer on the sacrifice branches away, and that's because I don't want that growth to shade out any of the weaker, smaller growth that I'm leaving here in the middle. I want all that, wood that these guys are producing to continue being created, but I don't want the shading aspect of it. So by clearing out all of this sort of intermediate growth in here, I can allow a full sun exposure to this center section so that I don't have to then wait for back buds in places where I actually need them. With this top finished, what I'm going to do is to widen the other side of this central Shari that's here. And that means that instead of like last time taking off wood from this side of this lifeline, I'm going to take it off from this side of the other lifeline. And that lifeline is largely being fed by this branch, which is creating a lot of good wood. But I'm trying to avoid a sort of situation in the future where the expanding wood from this lifeline actually contacts the expanding wood from the lifeline up here. So in order to do that, I want this lifeline to not be swelling up this direction as much as it is going sort of back that way. And the same thing is going to be true for this lifeline. I'm probably going to remove this in the next session, and the lifeline that's here is going to be then wrapping underneath this deadwood back to this section here. let's take a look at the opposite side where last time I extended a small Shari. So I'm going to rotate this around and kind of try to take a look underneath in this section. I'm really tempted to come in here and widen this Shari as well because it's got a pretty good rollover on it. But I want to confine the work on the Shari to just that one edge of the one lifeline that I narrowed. And that's because if you do it all at once, all at a regular interval, you end up with something that looks too regular. So I think by leaving this for a little while longer, I can actually make a much more irregular looking tree in the end. So even though I'm tempted, I'm not going to do it. As you can see, there's a lot of complexity in this tree, but I'm actually trying to continue to make it even more complex. And that question of when do you actually stop doing the growing operations and start doing more refinement and branch work is one of the hardest things that I have to, get through. It's really fun, I think, to continue this development work for a long period of time. And I was talking to a student recently about it, and I kind of compared it to a chess match. In playing chess, you are going to kind of have a very limited number of moves that you can make in the first 4, 5, 6 moves. From there, it becomes almost infinite, the number of different iterations there are. And that's true with these juniper bonsai as well. In the first 4, 5, or 6 years, there's only so much interesting stuff that you can do with them, but those moves that you initially set really do feed into a much more interesting middle game in which you can kind of adapt lifelines and create more complexity in the plant. So that's all the work I'm going to do for today. I hope you enjoyed that. I will probably revisit this tree again in about 2 years. So other than just growing it, fertilizing it, watering it, I'm going to set it back out in the field and allow it to grow. That wraps up this video. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.